Kenneth Montes de Oca, and I'm running Ken Pilates, which is a private Pilates studio here in Hoboken, New Jersey. And Ken Workouts is an online platform where I give pretty much group class setting online. It's available 24/7 for you to use. Yeah.
Amazing. How long have you been using that platform?
Not that long. It started during the pandemic. It was just like a mechanism of survival, something that was born out of COVID. A lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But
like everyone's story.
pretty much. All good. There we go. We had to figure it out and adapt. Like
Yes,
I'm sure we all had to.
yes. Oh, totally. So what platform is it that you're using for the on-demand
So I pretty much
workout?
created my own ish. I
Oh
use
yeah.
like a third party systems called MemberStack, and then I integrated
Okay.
with Vimeo, where I just add in the videos to through Webflow, which is like a website design place
Hmm.
that gives you a lot of freedom when it comes to designing. And then yeah, I had a third party member stack member website, and then I have Vimeo there to submit my videos and
Oh,
live stream them and
amazing.
stream them. Yeah,
Yeah. So are they
a
live
lot of
stream or are they
work.
like on demand? Yeah,
They're on demand.
on
I'm
demand. Okay.
trying to find a way to integrate both of them. I feel like
Hmm.
it's might work better to have my live classes there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know for a lot of people who watch this who are just passionate about Pilates, and we talked about this yesterday too. We can be really, really good teachers, but then this business side is the scary stuff. So I can't
It's
imagine how scary the technical stuff is.
I am the type of person that when I go to like a CVS or some form of like shopping center and there's like self checkout, I freak out. So just like being
Oh man.
having
Yes.
a computer in front of me it's still a challenge. But I think the
Yes.
one thing we do know as Pilates instructors to be ballsy and just gutsy and just go for it. Um, I think that's what makes us great teachers.
Yes.
The fact that we're not afraid to make mistakes and just
Thank
test the
you.
waters and see what's up.
Yes, right. No, exactly. I think the faster we can get over ourselves and not be afraid to make mistakes, the better we are.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
Or else we
yeah.
would just all just teach the same thing for everybody.
I
So
know. That's a safe way for sure.
that's safe.
Yeah, yeah. The so how did you find this technology? How did you find this platform and all that stuff? Because I'm sure there's people out there who are thinking, I'm just going to use YouTube or I'll just use this. Like, how did you find this and what made you decide to use this platform to get your message out?
Um, a lot of research, a lot of Googling, a lot
Hmm.
of YouTubing, figuring out what what was the move. I feel like when I started it, now there's a lot of places that will give you the opportunity to have a platform like this, and it's a little easier just because the industry had to adjust to what
Yes.
that was. I believe there's like Talent
Right.
Hack. They have something called Spaces where you can just upload your videos and have and sell them in that like e-commerce format.
Yes.
But
Wait,
then,
say those again. Like,
um,
because
sorry.
I know I personally haven't heard of these, so like there's
Oh
probably people
yes,
that wait,
yes.
I want to write that down. What was that?
Yes, so
Yeah.
there's this website Talent Hack. They're almost like
Talent
they're
hack.
yeah, they're like a fitness LinkedIn, let's say.
Okay.
And they started a platform which is pretty much what I have, but they just opened it to everybody to just make their own thing, and they didn't have that during the
Sweet.
at the peak of the pandemic. Um, so I started to make my own. Like you said,
Hmm.
and you mentioned earlier, something about micro businesses. It's less overhead. They're not getting a fee out of me.
Yes.
Well, some of these third party websites
Right.
are, but yeah, it makes sense to use their my own. And that made it challenging. I took the challenge. Um,
Mm,
yeah, a lot of research. That's how I came across with what to do
yeah.
and how to do it.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, I know sometimes it sounds boring to talk about. Like when we love movement so much, it sounds boring to talk about. Like
The
what
business,
third party
yes,
app are you using to,
I know.
but it's helpful, right?
It is. Yeah,
Like
no,
this
no.
is the thing. This is what helps us to kind of take our business to the next level. So I appreciate that, and commend you for your courage to do that, man. Because you're right. You could fall flat on your face right now, right? Or it could be the next best thing.
I know. Yeah, I feel like what inspired for me to do it was the fact I used to teach a lot of group classes, like group fitness and group reformers, That was like my thing before COVID like really settled in. And I lost my jobs. And I figured, you know what? I have a lot of group clients. They love my classes. People is gonna barge in and come running for my stuff just because they all take my classes. Well, that was not true.
I know. Been there, man.
Flat
Yep.
on the people
Yep.
that are on my
Yeah.
platform I have never met. But it's
Yes.
and it,
That's awesome.
I was like, let me do this for them, This is for my clients that probably miss me. No, I think people that are no one's there that I
Yeah.
started it for. People that
Yeah.
like personal connections to group classes in person for a reason. So it could be quite tricky getting
Yes.
that clientele to join your online business, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, it does actually, and that really becomes the blessing that we've realized now is that we have two sets of client bases now. We have our
Pretty
live
much.
people, and we have our virtual people, and when we go back to live again, we're gonna have both, right? So you're gonna have to keep some virtual stuff going once the live comes back on because your virtual people are gonna miss you. You know what I'm saying? So
True.
it's not a bad problem to have.
Not at all. Not at all. It's it's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I'm grateful for being able to learn how to fly solo throughout this thing. It's like I didn't know we didn't no one knew
Yes.
we didn't know we had this in us. We were like, we have to survive.
Right.
Let's make it work.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. And Allison was on yesterday. She has this funny story. I asked her like how she started a business. She's been in running business for like 20 years. And she said that her boss or her colleague, whoever it was, said to her basically, a call comes through. Sorry
Sorry,
about
you cut off
that.
there a little bit.
So yeah, yeah, okay. So I'll repeat that. So yeah, so her colleague said to her, "I'm firing you because there's a rental space opening up, and you need to be bigger than this."
That
That's
makes sense.
that makes sense, right? So and
And
sometimes
that's a great boss.
yes, honestly. And so like you said, like sometimes we need to realize we need to survive and do it. And other times there's people around us who will kick us out so that we can fly, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's
Or
good.
or the opposite. There's people that might not want you to fly, so they will just try to stick you around and micromanage. But that's
Yes.
another
That's
that
we're trying
gatekeeping,
to
that's
keep it on the
another
positive.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
There's a lot of
Um,
that.
yeah, for sure. So,
But, yeah.
were you in the group fitness, like teaching like group fitness classes, or just group fitness for Pilates?
Mostly just Pilates and and
Okay.
and all of its variations. So I feel like I jumped a lot when it came to Pilates, which is why,
Hmm.
I train through post-start Pilates. It's like
Okay.
classical training, and then you do a lot, of post-rehab throughout the way. And so automatically I worked for like a PT place, but then I moved to the city and
Yes.
I started dancing, and I decided to just do group fitness because I could just drop in. And what I realized that all these studios, they all had a method. They were all the
Yes.
same, kind of, to their own thing,
Hmm.
but I feel like they all had a method, and you picked up different stuff from different places, and yeah, it was Pilates
Yeah.
in many
No, it's
forms.
right.
But
Yeah.
so
Now,
it was
have you
good.
taken, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, have you taken other teacher training programs or learn like different modalities? Like Polestar, like I, from what I understand, is has a classical route, but it has a very like corrective exercise rehab bent
Yes.
to it. And then someone may be more contemporary, another may be like really, really strict classical. Have you taken time to learn from like different, like vastly different modalities in terms of the Pilates method?
Yeah, so pretty much I started out with Polestar, and the comprehensive training is very, hands-on. And then my mentor, Kim, she she takes pride on us right off the bat, just like teaching. And we were all already, she called us movement experts.
Yes.
Day one of your training, you're already a movement expert. She said, you guys are dancers, you can move. Let's put
Mm-hmm.
that to the side, and let's get to the meat of things. So that gave us the opportunity to really tap into the post rehab side of things. Um,
Yes.
and then from there, I believe that my training kept evolving due to the places I was working at. They all, like I said, they all had a
Of
method. So
course.
it was, I had to
Yes.
put aside what I knew,
Mm-hmm.
unlearn a little bit, so that I can take new information and adjust it to their needs. And then I will try and mix and match both. When it comes to my private clientele, I will just use all
Yes.
my knowledge and intuition. So I think my
Yes.
my continuation of Pilates just came from different jobs. Just this is how they teach here. This is how their class is set up. This is how they teach here. So I believe that's what pushed it, and that's how I kept growing.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So how did you find Pilates originally?
At school, well, I think naturally when you dance, you do Pilates for warm up, but I didn't really pay no
Of
mind
course.
or attention to it whatsoever. Back in the day, it was
Right.
it was the most annoying part. Like, can I
Yeah.
just dance? Why do I have to do this?
Then we get to
Ah!
the dancing part. You're right. Yeah.
But then somewhere in college, I noticed the control
Mm.
that I was lacking in my own dance training. So I was like, this is gonna make my dancing better. I should definitely learn how to control my body better. Because I feel like when you're
Hmm.
in when you're in a dance setting, there's the mirror, and then there's the teacher, and then there's this idea of perfection. But when I
Okay.
will go down into the somatic center, which is where we have our reformers back in my university, it was about me for that 1 hour, and like about how my
Hmm.
body felt and what I needed
Yeah.
in order
Hmm.
to keep growing. So I came across that, yeah, and my university, that's the first time I jumped into a reformer, and I was like, I get to do all of this laying down. Sign me up.
Bonus. I know. Too
So
funny. But now,
that's
are you
what
like super
started.
bendy? So like it's one of those things where, oh sorry, like is it like are you like really super flexible? So like this helps you kind of get back into your body. Did you find?
If anything, I feel like this increased my flexibility. I
Okay.
um I think before Pilates, like everything was bendy, but like in not aligned properly the way that things were
Okay.
supposed, anatomically correctly aligned, just like dance bending.
Yes.
Um,
Hmm.
so once I jumped into Pilates, I had more awareness of where things were supposed to be, and
Yes.
then my flexibility kept going from a safer place, just kept increasing. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool. And so, in terms of your dance career, like how far did you get? What did you do? And are you one of those people who like had an injury that found Pilates and then Pilates made your dance better? Like, how did Pilates tie into your whole dance career?
There's been minor injuries, and Pilates help recover faster for sure. Actually, I'm
Okay.
thankful for that. Um, that I don't have to. I don't spend too much time in the PT office.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dance. I'm still dancing
Right.
professionally, even
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
even through the pandemic. But then yeah, one helps the other. Right now I'm dancing for this company, and everybody in the company is in the Pilates field or some form of teaching.
Oh, cool.
So I found
Yeah.
like my niche. The reason why they're like we grow each other's business. You know, we're rehearsing, we're dancing, but at
Yes.
the same time we also have that other thing that we deeply care about, which is to teach movement. And what
Yes.
I noticed with this specific company, it's that I don't want to say validation. I want to say we find fulfillment in
Yes.
giving movement to others more than just putting it out in front for people to watch.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. No,
healing.
I
It's
hear you.
healing, and if we can do it, then why not? You know.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
So then who would you say is like your ideal client, like the people that you love to work with the most?
people that are willing to learn. No.
Yeah, yeah.
My
No, that's a legit answer. Like, I mean,
it's
like, I have people like, you have those people who come because someone told them like, you're 49 and you're gonna die at 50 if you don't start exercising, and then they come
right.
arms crossed to Pilates,
They're like
right? So,
yes.
yeah, right. So you want people who want to learn. Yeah, of course.
Yes. Um, yeah, and then people that also like, what am I making that interpersonal connection? I realized that a lot of my best clients, the people that I love to teach everyone. That's just how it is. But people that I love to teach, they know not just the physical benefit of exercise and movement, they also know the importance of making that connection with someone, and how important it is movement is for your own well-being. I
Yes.
That is, yeah, I think that ties in with the reason why I like teaching
Hmm.
and a lot, which is the fact that it is the 1 hour that it's not about me.
Hmm.
If that makes sense. I feel like you can
Yes.
get into your head a lot. And
Right.
when I have a client come in, I really enjoy that it's not about me at that moment. It's about what they need and who they are.
Yes.
And it's kind of meditative. You get out of your own head.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's, it's funny, Kenneth, you say that because like a lot of times we think about the person that we're teaching, like, okay, this is good for them and this is their break. But like you said, that it's true. Like this is so healing for us when we can get out of our own
Yeah.
space to be there for our client and to think about what they need and how can we make this the best hour of their day. Takes us out of our own space and makes actually sometimes it is the best. Like there's people that I so look forward to because I get to just be present for them.
Be a part of the world. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
so
That's so
too.
good.
It's one of my favorite things. That's my ideal clients, the one that lets me be a part of their world for an hour, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that's a privilege, right? Like, I
it
mean,
really
they're
is.
entrusting us. Yeah.
It really is. That trust is they're trusting us with their life and their bodies. I don't know if like I feel like the body just has so much drama, and like I'm sure you can tell when you have a client who you probably shouldn't ever touch, or like
Right.
um
Yes.
they all come with different um different traumas,
Yes.
and so it's nice when to see once they start just on layering and being who they are and fully
Hmm.
enjoying movement for what it is and for their own
Yes.
well-being.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a treat. And that makes me think, a lot of times when we're working with our clients, you see that, and there's times I'm like, maybe I should take a course on like trauma informed this, or maybe I should take. And I wonder how deep I have to dive on being able to speak to these things and how much I just need to just be present for them. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like there's
Yes,
that
I think,
balance.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how much of a book do I need to
Hmm.
understand a person as me as a person to, like,
Yes.
tuition, try to understand them. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a balance. It's a fine line. I feel like a lot of yoga
Hmm.
practices. I have a friend who was actually studying traumas in the bodies, and I
Yes.
haven't really come across that in the Pilates world. Now I'm
Hmm.
interested, but I feel like there's a lot of yoga
Yes.
practices that that
Yeah.
well, now you gave me another project, but um,
Well, there you go.
but yeah, there's a lot of yoga practices that really tap into trauma in the body,
Hmm.
and it will be interesting tying those two things together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're always learning, right? So I mean,
Yes.
we're gonna spend the rest of our life figuring stuff out and learning. And what's that line she used yesterday? We search for things that are fulfilling and compelling,
Correct.
right? So I can dive deep on in so many different directions in my Pilates practice, but the things that are fulfilling for me and the things that are compelling to me are the things that I'm going to give out, and that's going to resonate with people. So I may not necessarily have to do all this work on X, Y, or Z because I'm diving deep on A, B, and C, and those are the things, and those are the people that will come to me. And then I can refer, right? And that's when we have this
Yes.
wisdom to know when do we refer to other people. Or as
Yes.
Kai says, who is your Joseph? Right? Like who is
Yes.
that person that every person has their teacher, has their student. So I don't have to be all things to all people. I just
Yes.
need to be like really, really good at the things that I'm really, really good at and continue to just chase after my passion.
Exactly. I love that. Yes, I feel like I'm very big on that.
Mhm.
I think I've come across a lot of instructors or teachers and friends. A lot of my friends are in the, you know, in the industry. So and
Movement.
one thing
Yeah.
yeah, and I think what I notice is that our ego can get in our way, and then we're like, oh, we know everything. And then even if you do, you act like
Mm.
you, I mean, if you don't, you act like you do, and then you beat yourself because you don't know these things. But it's as simple
Right.
as making a phone call or sending a text saying, oh
Yes.
my God, what is going on? Here I have this person,
Right.
and and I'm grateful to have mentors that I can do that with. That's the other thing. Like, who's your
Yes.
Joseph? Um,
Yes.
and I hope everybody has someone like that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's so
I
key.
hope someone, you know,
Yeah.
I'm grateful to have some people that I can always like, what is going on with this latest hip? So I can easily send a quick test and have them figure it out, or send them over to them, or send them over to someone. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, referral is important.
Right. And what you're saying is, I mean, that takes humility, right? And the reality is that when we're
Yeah,
humble enough to do that, it actually elevates us. So we don't have to pretend that we're professional. We can actually be professional by referring out to other
by
professionals.
referring. And then you learn. And
Right.
and then next time
Yeah.
someone with that comes, then you already know what the next move is. You have
Right.
experienced that. I think it's
Yes.
like we were talking earlier, back to our business talk.
Yes.
It's that fear. It's that fear of making mistakes. It's okay to just jump at it
Hmm.
and be wrong, and live in the wrong so that you can
Yes.
learn and be better, and accepting that. I think
Yes.
that's, you don't have to
That's a
know
good
it
word,
all.
man. Yes. Excuse me while I
That's
write that
so much.
down.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm big on that. I'm like, this is
Live in the wrong.
living the wrong. That's you'll learn from that, and like accept that, that you're just, it's okay to be wrong. I see that often with the industry. It's like, we know this. This is what I know, and like, I cannot stress enough how many classes I've taken where it's like, well, and trust me, coming from like
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, coming from a dance background, I that's just coming. It's like this is how it's been done forever. And
Yes. Right.
like it
Yeah.
comes with that. So I decided
Yeah,
to,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, I decided to not make my
Mhm.
Pilates practice
So
similar
and
to my
Joel's
dance.
comment here.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Joel's comment here. So if you can't do something, find someone who can and make them your friend. That's
yes,
facts.
that is,
Right? Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
And the other part to that too is that there's someone like I use nutrition as an example. I know enough about nutrition to be dangerous, but I don't have patience for people who just don't want to do the work for nutrition. Whereas I have friends who are dietitians and nutritionists who can dive deep on mindfulness and can dive deep on specifics of it. And because they're so passionate about it, I don't even waste my breath anymore. I'm just like, talk to Noreen. Like I just like I don't even, as soon as they ask me a nutrition question, I was like, here's her phone number. Like, I just leave it alone because I'm not even going to waste my breath telling you don't eat sugar and don't have bacon and don't drink for breakfast. It's, if you don't want to do it, she can motivate you otherwise.
Chicken,
So,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
no, that's amazing. You need to have people like that around, people that will,
yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's in social work. My background is in social work before I came into Pilates, and they used to call it a circle of care. So as a social worker, I may need to know a housing coordinator and a mental health and addictions counselor and an employment counselor and all these different people. So they're already in my circle. So as soon as John comes to see me, I have those people, ready to say this, for this you need this, for this you need this, for this you need this. So I just kind of listen from the conversation to know who is already in my pocket that I can hand them off to. So I'm always trying to gather those people so I have them ready. So it's not like I can be like, I don't know, but Kenneth does. Here's his number. Not like, I don't know.
Right.
Let me look that up for you and I'll get back to you in 6 days, right? So
Yes, yes, that's the importance of connection, which is why I really like what you're doing this Friday. I'm gonna check it out.
mhm.
And thank you for that, for letting people connect. It's rough now. But
Yes. Yeah.
but yeah, it's important to make connections. And my phone, there we go. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, just being able to
Yeah.
say this
No.
is someone they can help out. And that's what I like about back to dance, the community, the dance community I'm in right now, that we're all good at something different. And if I can easily just send
Yes.
someone over to someone, I wouldn't mind. And guess what? They're also my friends. I could help their business. They're in the future, they're gonna go ahead and help me. It will
Yes.
reciprocate
Yeah.
as well. I'm sure they'll have someone that they're gonna send over to you.
Right.
Gatekeeping, it's not a good
Yes.
practice. There's only so much you
No,
can
I know.
grow.
It's yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what, Ken? I realized that the word gatekeeping is coming around a lot lately. It's
Yes,
almost becoming a swear word. Like
it
the
is.
gate, the gatekeepers. Like you do not ever want to be a gatekeeper nowadays.
You don't. You gotta share the wealth. We're in a
Share the
position,
wealth.
and I think that's because of politically speaking of, especially in America, like what we had going on in leadership and like seeing
Yeah.
the extreme of that. The only
Yes.
way we can move forward and away from that is by doing the opposite. So just share the wealth.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great quote. I saw a Martin Luther King quote where he said, America wants democracy at the same time they want to keep Black people. There's a way that he said it where it's just like they simultaneously want to have this beautiful democracy, but then also keep Black people under thumb, as to say, we still want to be gatekeepers of how they can be prosperous and how they can grow and how they can thing, but in the name of still having democracy. So not to get too deep on a political thing, but it's interesting that that commentary from like 40 years ago is
Still
still so accurate with what you
resonate.
see.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
but pretty much, yeah.
But let's, I mean, if we bring that a little closer to home, oh, sorry, I was gonna say, just to bring it a little bit closer to home in terms of the Pilates industry, what's your thoughts on this move towards more representation and, this balance that's starting to come now in terms of anti-Black racism and just representation in the fitness industry?
I Well, all right, let's put it this way. You know the benefits of Pilates and how, like, well, let's say, like I said earlier, I have saved so much money on not going into surgery for something that could have easily happened with me dancing, or not going into physical therapy, or, with the knowledge that I have of my body, I've been able to avoid certain things
Right?
that have been financially, smart,
Hmm.
because of simple anatomical knowledge and simple wellness knowledge and like um yeah, just healthy lifestyle choices that comes within, what we do.
Yes.
And when there's a lack of representation, when there's a lack of people that look like us doing this stuff, there's no one to look up to that looks like you, where you want to be able to, So I think it's
Yes.
important to have, it's important to just not be elitist when it comes to Pilates, because it's
Yes.
medicine.
Hmm.
Something, then why cannot just
Yes.
share that with
Well
everyone?
said.
So I think that's where I stand with it. I think that what we know and what we do for people is really
Hmm.
important. It has changed my life for sure, and I'm sure it changes others. Like I have clients that walk in as one person walked out as another,
Yes.
um, and I feel like just representation will make what we know and what we do in this industry more accessible. And I think that is what I
Yes.
hope for in a future, for everybody to have access to this.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes. Well said. Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Really well said. Absolutely, absolutely. Like I was giving your space to just say it your way, and that is like bang on. Like the more representation, the more accessibility there is. Period. I have
Yeah,
nothing else to add to that. That's
that's
like
that's
that's
it.
exactly it.
That's pretty much it. I remember when I started my platform, my goal was to hire all these friends of mine, that have all this background, so that people could see, more people like them on my platform.
Yeah.
I found out how hard it is to make those videos, and I was like, okay, let's keep it with me just now. And the cost of production, I'm not there yet. So I guess in a future, my,
Right.
and then you're and it's hard
That's real talk,
when you're
man.
not like,
Yeah.
it's real talk. I don't have investors. um, but
Yes.
in a future, I would love to like just keep putting people up there, share the wealth as well,
Mhm.
so that there's more people
Yes.
like us. And
Yes.
yeah, but it's rough when you can find something off of YouTube for free,
Mhm.
so that makes it hard. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Um, we still have a bit of time. I was wondering, you're from Dominican Republic originally?
Yes, born and raised
Nice.
there.
So born and raised. So when did you come to the US then?
Came here somewhere in high school. I want to say 2000, to finish
Yeah.
high school, 2011, 2012. Yes. So it's been
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
8 years, 7 years? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, so
Yeah.
that obviously impacts your perspective on US coming from a country that was predominantly your skin tone and then
Yes.
coming here and then getting into dance and getting into movement in this context, right? So that's why I felt it was important to just ask you what your perspective was because it's different than many people. Like I'm in Toronto, Canada, right? So my perspective is different as well
Yes.
than the standard American commentary as well.
Yes, I yeah, is perspective is a big thing. I think perspective is what gives me that the survival skills. Just because we can see things from different angles and say, okay, let's okay.
Yes.
I don't want to. Yeah,
Yes.
does that make sense?
Yes, it
Perspective
does.
is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like um being from another country automatically, especially coming into America, it's like assimilation is the first thing that like comes to your mind, and you're like, so
Mhm.
how do I fit in? Um, through that to like survive. That's what I meant to say earlier, but
Yes.
because of that point of perspective, then you come to realize what that you know what you know, and that's what
Mhm.
makes you who you are. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it does. It really
um,
does. You're doing great, man. I know we were talking earlier about just like language and just finding words in conversation. Dude, just be free. You're doing awesome. Like you're making total sense and you're making some great points that I'm gonna pull out later. Like I love that representation piece. Like that's solid.
yeah,
And I
I'm
love that
not
live in
good
the
on
wrong line
interest.
too.
It's important to do
No.
that. It's really important to do that. It's so funny. The person that
Yeah.
I text when something's wrong and I don't know what I'm doing just jumped in. But
Yes.
but yeah, no, it's yeah, living in the wrong is important, and it's okay to not know everything as long as you can.
Yes.
Yeah, you will learn. That's how
Yeah.
you learn.
Yeah.
That's how you grow.
You will
And
learn.
and any
Yes,
any any
exactly.
right, and also any show, especially right now. I don't know, like our industry is so ever changing. I remember the whole conversation before was like, you shouldn't roll out your IPO band. Oh no, you should stretch it. Oh no, you should do both. And then you're like, what is going on?
Oh yes.
So like things are changing and things keep evolving. So it's okay to
Right.
understand that things will change and things can mold. And
Right.
yeah,
Yes. You had a quote, and it kind of ties into what you're saying about coming into this country and this melting pot, this assimilation that has to happen. But then one of your posts you had that I liked this morning. Sorry if it looks like I'm a stalker, like liking a post
it's
from like
okay.
2019, but you
Completely
said
different
I
person
never.
then.
Yes, yes. Well, you said I never change. I simply become more myself.
Yes, I feel like we are we are childhood, and childhood is important, and what you grew up seeing and who you are, and I feel like as you grow you just pick and choose who you want, and it's not a matter of changing. It's um oh, there you are. It's a matter of just
Yes,
evolving and putting away insecurities and being confident in your own
yes.
persona. So that is my ongoing work for the rest of my life. Accept
Till further
what I
notice.
am and who I am. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's something that will always be a thing. Just but it's fun. There's people I don't do I am who I am. This is who I am, and they're proud on that. And I feel like there's a fine line between being arrogant in who you are and not accepting being in the wrong, and then being in the
Yes.
wrong so that you can be a better version of
Yes.
yourself. So that's where I stand with
Yes.
that. You just keep become well, hopefully you keep evolving and getting better as a person. The hopefully, that's the hope, that there's still good in
That's
humanity,
the hope.
that people are striving for that. That's the hope.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. And Movement Collab right there said, I'm so proud of you, Kenneth. Keep opening your heart and sharing your gifts.
Thanks, Kim. But that's the
Yeah.
person that
But
I
no, you're
text, and I'm
right.
like, so what do I do?
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. We need those people in our corner for sure.
yes,
I was going to say something more with that simply becoming, yeah, like what you're saying there, that sense of knowing that, okay, this is who I am, but I'm also a work in progress. I
yes,
can make mistakes and I can make pivots. So my thing is like, don't box me into who I used to be, or if I did
yes,
something wrong, you take offense to that, and then I'm forever locked into the person that did this, that thinks this way, that said this, whatever it is. Like, give me space to change. Give me space to move on from my
yeah.
mistakes, that sort of thing. So I try to just give people that space as well, knowing that I need that grace when I make a mistake.
Enough, you bump into people who don't give that space. Like first impression are like a huge thing. I remember like coming out of college, like it's all about your first impression. It's all about how you first meet someone and what they say, because you can easily like be blacklisted.
Mm.
And I experienced that a lot with the dance
Yeah.
world, where like somebody's ego was just like blocking that
Mm.
space for people to grow. It's like, oh, you didn't do this right. Well, I've never goodbye. Get out of my view. Um, no, I think
Wow.
it's yeah, it's that's what I love about Pilates instructors, that we have the sensitivity to give people a chance to grow. Um, it's like keep coming, you'll
Yes.
eventually touch your toes. It's okay if you come in and like that doesn't happen right away. Um, so I think that is
Right.
just giving space to grow. That's important. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
There's
absolutely.
I, yeah.
Yeah, that is. No, please go ahead.
Oh no, no, no. I meant like I just hope to live in a world where everybody understood that people need space to grow, and that
Mhm.
you shouldn't judge someone for what they used to be or for who
Yeah.
they are in that moment right off the bat. Like it's
Yes.
I need that space. We all need that space.
We all need that space. Yeah,
We all need that
exactly.
space. Yeah.
I think that you're doing a great job. You're taking what you learned from that and building your brand of Pilates and your brand of movement around it being a welcoming space where people can make
Yes,
mistakes and grow and discover stuff. That's great. That's really all we can ask, right? If we're going to continue to
that's
move
true.
this industry forward and for you to grow your personal business, is to have that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? That ethos to your business, right?
Yeah, and that ties in with all the Pilates drama going on right now. And like, PMA and all these things, and like what's classical, what's contemporary, like all that, like just tie right into that. It's okay for things to evolve. It's okay to give the opportunity
Yes.
for people to grow. It's okay for yourself to take time off and take space to grow. It's okay for you to just grow on your own. It's okay
Yes.
to get out and grow.
Yes.
Does that make
Yes. Yeah, that's like
But
that, dude. That's right
yeah,
back to the beginning of our conversation. It's like you're fired, so you can go
so you
grow
can
and
go
be
grow.
better.
Exactly.
Yes,
And that's okay. It's okay.
yes,
And that's totally fine. If it's for the
yes,
better of humanity and your own kind, and your own person, then that's probably the right thing to do. Sometimes you need to fire
yes,
yourself. And
yes.
and sometimes you need to fire yourself.
Good word. Well,
Yeah.
I am looking forward to crossing paths with you on Friday in the speed networking.
Yes. Will you
That's gonna
mind
be.
repeating the time, little self promotion moment here?
Yes, sure. Thank you. Thanks for the shameless plug. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at 5 p.m. on January 22nd. That is a Friday. When you sign up on Hopin, the link is in my bio, and register for the Core Connection Speed Networking event.
Yes. I'm there for you.
Yes, there's a little comment there. Let's hear from both of you. What you think of here? Yes. It's so funny, Movement Collab asking us, love to hear from you, both of you, on what you think about the PMA has the potential to pivot and represent diversity, or do we need to start from scratch? I was going to say this before when you're talking. I have chosen to, instead of talk about the PMA, to simply celebrate the people who are doing great work in our industry right now. And for example, there was the Pilates Best of 2020 blog that came out the exact same day that the PMA did their piece about someone resigning and all these different things. And it took away the thunder of the people who were being celebrated, who had never really had their name in social media being recognized for a reward. And I felt like they needed way more space than the PMA and what they're doing wrong. So I just, like, for this week, I actually have not spoken to this so that I can say to, Pilates Dwell, like, congratulations on being nominated, or to so-and-so. Like, there's a lot of people who are doing good work. So I don't want to give airtime to those who are trying to figure stuff out right now.
Makes
So
sense.
that's kind of my commentary on it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So.
And that is creating space for growth. On that note, I think, yeah.
Yes.
I think what you're doing right now is just, literally making space for growth. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, this has been a great conversation, Kev. I really appreciate your time, man.
It has been. I enjoyed it a lot. But I'll see you this Friday for sure.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah. And so, that being said, I'll send you a replay of this later, and then I'm going to pull out some of those comments that you made. So you made some great sound bites in there as well that we can just continue to just rehash, because I think more people need to hear that, and it will definitely help people in their business to come with that perspective. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Awesome. Have a lovely Tuesday.